God damn it.
That's not useful. That's
Or
like,
fun.
I honestly, like, this hasn't been confusing as much as it has been annoying.
Exactly. And I think
Just don't make that rule then.
on occasion we witness something in sports that everybody recognizes is awesome, but we simultaneously are not positive what we witnessed. We're used to everything, plays, results, athletes, all falling into clean categories for us to be able to know how to think about them. When that isn't the case, we are left in a collective confusion, often because something was unique or just very cool. You know what's also cool? We have a Patreon. Please check it out. You'll get something every Monday, episodes of Pretty Good, our podcast, and lots of other stuff. Right now, this is what we're here for. This is the unique, this is the cool. Did y'all watch this?
Yes, I'll tell you right now, I know how to categorize this, and it was me almost single-handedly winning my fantasy game of this particular week.
Right.
By having Josh Allen on my roster for this play.
How does fantasy deal with this? We should explain what
Yeah.
it is first,
Oh,
but
totally.
come back
I
to
mean,
that, please.
yeah.
That is a big part of it. Why I want to dive into this further, everyone was a little surprised with how it gets officially scored, and I couldn't find anyone explaining why the scoring works as it does. So
Take us through what we're
We'll
actually...
dive
Yeah, I didn't actually watch this game, so
Okay.
I would love to know more specifically what happened.
So this took place second half. Bills, 49ers. Bills are blowing out San Francisco. It's kind of the play that made the entire game worth watching. Josh Allen completes a pass to Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper catches it around the 5, the 4. 49ers swarm him, but Josh Allen is right behind the play. Amari Cooper sees him, tosses the ball backwards, who runs it in 7 yards out for a touchdown. The answer to how you score this is Josh Allen is credited with a passing and a receiving touchdown. As soon as that came out, everyone was like, oh, that's wild. And this makes him the third quarterback in NFL history to catch his own pass for a touchdown.
It's a give and go. It's a basketball play, but in
Right.
football.
The very first time this happened was in 1997. So it took a while. Brad Johnson did it against the Vikings in 97. Marcus Mariota was the second person to ever do it. It took another 21 years.
Wow.
Mariota did it in the playoffs. This is far more majestic than either of those. Like, can picture those guys being just honored watching this and hearing them being compared to Josh Allen soaring through the air in the snow, angels singing, children sobbing tears of joy.
And this is specifically touchdowns, right? This is not just receiving your own pass. This is receiving your own pass and then taking it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, so other quarterbacks have caught their own passes.
Right.
Two most interesting that I found were Brett Favre's first career completion was to himself.
Wow.
That's cool. Okay.
And so was CJ Stroud's. This play is different from all of those moments.
On paper, he didn't catch his own pass.
Correct.
Did any of these people catch their own pass?
So in the stats, Josh Allen has 0 receptions for 7 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown.
Right.
If you go back and look at Marcus Mariota, if you go back and look at Brad Johnson, they have 4 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and a reception. My brain decided to go through the entire NFL rulebook to basically try to find the language that they use to prop this up, but it boils down to only one player can catch a pass. Makes sense?
Sure.
If the pass goes for a touchdown, you have a passing touchdown. Therefore, you need a receiving touchdown. The NFL breaks down what goes into a play. Sorry, a down.
Yeah.
My brain is like, this took place on a play. There were 3 plays
Yeah.
within
God
this down.
Damn it.
There was a passing play,
Yeah.
there was a running play, and then there was a second running play.
Which they should just call that special teams at that point.
Right. And so I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in of like, why give him a receiving touchdown? He doesn't have a catch. The NFL just needs to have a receiving touchdown if there is a passing touchdown.
Why? Or like, what's going to happen? Y2K? But for real, like, why do they need that?
Can't have this or all the computers will go down.
Diving into this one step further, and I think this is where you can get real confused over it. So the NFL defines a passing play from the moment the ball is snapped back to the moment that the pass is finished. whether it being completed or whether it is incomplete.
Yeah.
If it is completed and the play is still going on, the passing play stops there and it becomes a running play. When Josh Allen threw the ball to Amari Cooper, as soon as Amari Cooper caught it and had possession, the passing play stopped. A running play began by what the rules state.
Yeah.
The running play lasted until he successfully pitched the ball back to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
When Josh Allen had possession, a new running play began.
Yeah.
But not a passing play. Because
Not a
that's
passing
lateral,
play.
Right.
Not a forward pass,
And
of which you can only have one.
bingo. There can be an infinite number of running plays within the down,
Right.
but there can always only be one passing play.
God damn it.
That's not that's not useful. That's
Or
like
fun.
I honestly like this hasn't been confusing as much as it has been annoying.
Exactly. And I think
Just don't make that rule then.
genuinely, I think that is the NFL rulebook. So much of this comes down to semantics.
Because that's not really a rule. It's a record keeping structure.
Right. The rulebook itself doesn't spell out this situation.
Yeah.
The only place that does is they put out a supplemental PDF for statisticians to know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
to
yeah.
score
Yeah.
each.
No.
Well, no,
different-
everybody's got to do that. Like every sport has to have like this is what an assist is in
Sure.
basketball because that doesn't matter
Right.
for the game.
That's a
It
glossary.
matters for the scorekeeper. In the NBA, which I can refer to most easily, like so if there's a turnover that's like not really anyone's fault, it's just a team turnover. So can't you just have like the Bills scored a touchdown, or Josh Allen gets credit for it, but it doesn't get slotted into any particular category? Like,
I think
why not?
bonuses
Yeah.
are a good
Yeah.
reason for it.
Yeah.
I think betting is the ultimate reason for it. Going back to your point of you can only have one passing play within a down, that is why on this play, Amari Cooper gets a reception. Josh Allen does not get a reception despite getting receiving yards. My belief is that we are thinking about this play incorrectly. Marcus Mariota had a catch. Brad Johnson had a catch.
Yeah.
Brett Favre, reception. CJ Stroud, reception. All these other quarterbacks. All of those came on plays where the ball was deflected back towards them. This play is not like Marcus Mariota's touchdown. It's not like
It's
Brad.
not like those other plays.
It's, I think it needs to be compared to like Culpepper through to Randy Moss. Randy Moss had just an absolutely absurd lateral to Mo Williams, who then scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
That's what this play was. It just happened to be in the snow, close enough to the goal line where Josh Allen would come up there. A quarterback sturdy enough to be like, yeah, I can come help block. And that's why he was in the vicinity to get the lateral,
Yeah.
to then run it in. They are in the same family, but this is the first time we have seen this version of it play out, which I think adds to the general brain melt. Wait, why is that a receiving touchdown?
Why does Josh Allen have reception yards if we're saying that reception starts and ends with him throwing the ball and Amari Cooper catching the ball?
Why isn't this just a rushing touchdown? That's
That's ultimately the question.
So I asked Alex Rubenstein about this because I want to just vet that I was thinking
Yeah.
about this correctly.
He's still alive, to be clear. He's just
He's alive, but he
do
lives
break-
up in the clouds,
ceiling,
And it really is as simple as the NFL is dumb. If you have a pass, you have a reception.
I don't think there should be a passing touchdown on the play.
That's interesting.
It's fully a rush.
yeah, I think that's
There was a pass and a completion.
Yeah.
Period. Then there was a rushing touchdown. I don't think this is that hard to like put to paper unless you've already built a protocol that like rejects this input. If I were to read that back to you, you had never seen this, and I read to you, Josh Allen passed to Amari Cooper for X number of yards, and then Josh Allen scored a rushing touchdown. I think you might be able to like imagine what happened on the play. Josh Allen caught his own pass. No, he didn't. What I said did happen.
To throw a point in your favor,
Thank you.
the passing play ended once he had possession.
Sure.
Once pass was
moved.
complete. Yes, he became a runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That signified the start of a running play.
Yeah.
If he had lateraled it back to Josh Allen before the ball could ever hit the ground, a 49-year player caught that.
That would be a fumble, right?
Sure. But if the passing touchdown needs to have a receiving touchdown, then one could also semantically make an argument for them to call that an interception.
Right. So that's the fallacy is in that original assumption.
But because it's backwards pass versus forward pass,
That's but then like reject the premise is what I'm asking the NFL to do. A passing actually no, I reject both halves of it. There was neither a passing nor a receiving touchdown on this play. There was a pass and there was a reception, but the touchdown was all on foot. It was a rushing touchdown.
At the end of the day, I don't think people care. It's a passing league. The NFL has reason to say, oh, Josh Allen had 50 touchdowns passing this year. So like, let's make sure we can help out quarterback numbers that way, whatever. I think the most realistic version of all of this is they're just like, the first play was a passing play. Therefore, everything that comes next will be receiving instead of rushing. And then let's just forget about it. I don't think there's another sport that is as confused about itself as football.
I agree with that.
Again, when I was talking to Alex, he pointed out, he was like, the closest thing in his mind that relates to this is a player in basketball puts the ball into his own net.
Yeah.
And so they score that point to who?
The closest offensive player. Yeah, if I'm playing defense and I accidentally tip the ball into the basket, they just give it to the closest offensive player.
And so it's like, all right, cool. That's clean, that's easy, but it's also a very basic fundamental concept.
What if you have two dudes who are equidistant?
I don't think they need to do that. Again, I think points can sometimes just not belong to a specific person.
Take them off of the box score of the guy who put it in. -2 points.
You could do that too. That would be cool.
Screw up, like
they should do that for own goals.
The
it's
-1.
The
John Boyce of 100 years from now would look back at the box score and be like, I think they misscored this.
Yeah.
Like, no, idiot. Can I show you a very fun example of this?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is Lightning versus Capitals. Puck going back towards Charlie Lindgren, right into his own
Wait,
net.
this is a 3-3 game as well.
So yeah, that goal gave the Lightning a 4-3 lead. That gave Braden Point of the Lightning a hat trick. It's most recent player to have touched it from the opposing team.
Oh, okay.
Soccer jumps to mind because they're just like flat out like own goal, here's who did it.
Yeah.
That's Rocket League rules.
This is one of the most Rocket League moments in sports that I can think of.
It's extremely Rocket League.
That's a wrong button moment.
Yes. He jumped. Do you know how many times I've played Rocket League where if I had just stayed and done absolutely nothing, and that's exactly what happened. If I had stayed and done nothing, there would have been no goal. But because I did my weird little and I jump in exactly the right place to help my opponent score.
When the NHL learns what Rocket League is 5 years from now, they're gonna love this reference.
They're gonna love it. Yeah, they're gonna love it.
Hey, thanks for watching this reframe, and a special thanks to all of our top secret agents over on Patreon. If you want to join the ranks, click the link in the top right to check out what we're cooking up over there. You'll get first look at episodes of Pretty Good, you'll get our podcast, The Annex. If you want to just keep watching on YouTube, we've also got plenty of other stuff for you. Football, not football, the world's your oyster. I've never understood that saying and refuse to look it up. Please let me know in the comments. I appreciate you being smarter than me. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.